Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I'm Mike Stansberry. Today we have Phil Maisano. Oh man, you know what? We talked about this before the podcast. How to pronounce your name? Maisano. Did I get that correct?
That is correct.
Right.
Very
impressed. I'm not gonna start over because I think I nailed it the first time.
You did.
Well, Phil, thanks for being on the show. This broadcast is brought to you by Investor Fuel. We help real estate investors, service providers, and real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their business to allow them to build a business they've always wanted and allow them to live the lives they've always dreamed of. Phil, thanks for being on the broadcast. Now, read a little bit about you. Going to go into it. You started out in the military and then transitioned into real estate. Tell me about that. Give me Phil's origin story into what you're doing now.
Yeah. If I were to backtrack back to 2020, I was in the Air National Guard, and I went full time for the Air National Guard, and kind of hit a point to where I thought I could be doing a lot more. If the harder I work and the more work I do, you get paid more. So I thought real estate was the ultimate path for that, which I'm sure many could agree. Your paycheck could be limitless depending how well you do in real estate. So that was my transition. I jumped ship. I did not renew my contract, and we were just talking about before we just started, Mike, but I did not renew, and first day was COVID. So I had to figure out a way to sling deals from home, started in residential, and here we are now. 2025.
Yeah, that disruption, it's one of those things that I like to, COVID was one of those things where people sometimes don't like to look back on it, but it's always interesting to see where people were headed when it happened and how people pivoted from there. So you COVID hits, you get your real estate license, and then you realize, okay, the world has changed in a drastic way. What do I do next? Kind of what was the first steps? Where did your path take you from there?
Yeah, I would say since that first day of COVID and not be able to show a house, which at the time I look back and I thought real estate was very singular of you get a license, you show a home, and you try and sell a first home buyer or a seller. And little did you know, there's so many different paths you can go down, which I know, like you said, you're flipping houses yourself, which I didn't even know that was a thing. So when I couldn't show anything up in Pennsylvania or Jersey, I had to get paid somehow. I only had $5,000 or $6,000 in my account, living at home. That kid is living in their mom's basement. But we had a loft at the time, so I was up top. But the only way I could really make money was cold calling. I didn't have enough money to pay for Zillow leads. People weren't calling my phone. I didn't have a website. I had no marketing. So you just got to get down and dirty, pick up the phone,
And so you picked up the phone, you started doing deals, and do you remember your first deal and how it happened, and kind of what the...
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
How you disposed it, or tell me a little bit about that, or tell me like an early win that you were like, okay, I got some, this is something that actually has legs.
My first deal was as a residential home buyer, and I learned quickly that I did not like residential. And just me being upfront, I hated it. It was a very emotional process, and I'm not going to say I'm not an emotional guy, but I'm very analytic. Does the deal make sense? Does it not? I'm not going to terminate a $500,000 house because the sink is gold.
Right, you know? Phil, but you got to hold the wife's hand, and you got to do all the things.
I can't do it.
You got to...
Couldn't do it. But I can skip forward to my first commercial one if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I actually love this story. So you realize right away that I can be emotional when I need to be, but I don't want to be, right? And so and then you realized, okay, there's some the dawn was breaking, and you realized, okay, there's other verticals with inside real estate I could probably do. But I think it's actually key to think about something. You could have just quit. You could just say, "All right, this is not for me. I'm not doing this. This is not what I signed up for. I don't want to show people houses on Saturdays and Sundays." You said that, but you said, "But there's something else here." So yeah, tell us about your first commercial win, your deal. How'd that happen?
Yeah, I mean, directly after that, I started, like I said, cold calling, and I ran into somebody who was in my office. His name was Colin Conway and Robin Barrow, who are one of my best friends now, and they're developers in Philadelphia. And they told me, they're like, "Hey, Phil, we're cash buyers. If you find me something on this street, we'll knock it down. We'll build something." I'm like, "Dude, is there any?" Like, again, I'm still new, so I didn't know what the terms were. I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna do a home inspection?" He's like, "Dude, I'm knocking this thing down, and rehabbing it. I got cash." So
you were stuck. You were stuck in that residential real estate mode. That's so fun.
I was, and I called a for sale by owner, and I didn't know how well it was priced at the time, but it was in Graduate Hospital. It's like #2 neighborhood in Philly. Ended up locking up the deal, closed in 30 days. I got paid, no questions asked. I sold the property 7 to 8 months later for 1.25, and I was like, "Dude, this is crazy." That was such an emotionless process, and I'm like, can I do another one of them? You know, it was a little addicting at that point.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So you actually found somebody that was that you found a cash buyer, somebody that say have an interest in doing things in this location, and I have capital. And you found them a deal, and they closed, and then I guess, am I hearing that right, that you got to relist it once it was complete?
Correct. That was their, I'd say, point of, like, you know, any deal I had is to call them first. You call me and give me the deal, I'm going to give you the back, and I don't care what it is.
Yes. Yeah. And that's again a nugget for some of our guys that are investing in commercial or residential. One of the things that we do here is, if I have my license, I don't use it because if I'm gonna buy a house from an agent, I want them to get all the commission because I want the deal. And then the other thing is I'll list it with them. If I end up getting the deal, I'll list it with them so they're able to get paid what they're worth because they procured that buyer. We got the deal works, and you have a great relationship with somebody that you can rinse and repeat. And you did that on your first commercial deal. So you got the bug from there. So tell me how things went after that.
After that, I quickly learned I did not like doing open houses. It didn't close that first deal or my first residential guy for like 7 months. I did not get paid. Down to my last dollar. I did that with Colin and Rob, and I figured.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
The more I put the same amount of time and energy into a $100,000 deal and a $15 million deal. So over the past 3 years, I finally found the niche, which is industrial down in the Southeast. It's the same process. I'm calling from 9 to 12. No one knows the numbers better than me. I know how to talk the shop. I know who to talk to. I know who the buyers are. I know the cap rate. I know all the questions they ask. So taking that same experience from calling a forced sell by owner, doing a knock or a tear down as land, and converting that to industrial, nothing really changed. It was just the questions I was asking, and what's the word I'm looking for? And just bigger numbers.
Yeah, variable.
That was it.
The variable is, if you can sell a $50,000 house, you can sell a $500,000. You can sell a $3.5 million industrial. It's all in the numbers. Now you just realize that, okay, if I'm going to spend my time 3 hours a day cold calling, it's not going to be for these smaller deals. It's going to be for these bigger deals. And so, yeah, tell me what a successful cold call works with you. How long does it last, and then what's your follow-up system from there? I'm interested in this and kind of how the sausage is made.
Yeah, I gave you actually a really good example of the one I just did. I closed it back in December. My friend in my office had a listing in Northern Liberties, Philadelphia, for $8 or $9 million, and I knew at the time I didn't have the right buyer for it. I actually ended up taking 5 or 6 people through. It didn't work out. And I was like, you know what? The best buyer would be for it if I just called the neighbor. So I picked up the phone. I did my research on Reonomy and CoStar, which I use for my commercial stuff. And I called one of the immediate neighbors. And he's like, dude, I've been trying to buy this site for like 8-9 years. And thank God you called me. So since then, it was a crazy deal. We ended up getting into a bidding war. We closed it in this past December. But if I didn't just simply pick up the phone and call other warehouse owners, or even just the neighbor at that point, I never would have closed that. And I wasn't even the listing agent on it. My friend was. So
that's great. Yeah. So the low-hanging fruit is, hey, so I'll give you an example that just ties exactly into that. There's a house that we picked up for a nominal price right by a church, right? Yeah. And then we're like, well, hey, before we list this or before we rehab it, let's see if the church wants to buy it. And they did. They're like, yeah, we want that house. We loved it. And we're like, okay. We didn't know it was for sale. And I'm like, yeah, it is now. Yeah. And so it's what you did is you just thought through, okay, the progression, and you found a solution. I love it.
Yeah.
So that's great. All right. So one of the things you mentioned too before the podcast is, so you were in the Air Force, and you taught mixed martial arts. Do you still do that as a discipline, or what's that look like?
Not as frequently. And my friends always make fun of me because they're big time ball breakers like I am. I used to go to mixed martial arts. I still do once a month, but I'm really into hot yoga now, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Hot yoga and pickleball, man. That stuff keeps me young.
Oh man, you sound like my buddy's been trying to get me into pickleball. I have not yet. Look, I got he just got me a racket. And look still got the plastic on here.
You gotta get out there. That's nice.
I gotta get there. I'm afraid of two things. Number one, I'm afraid that I'm gonna hurt ACL. But I mean, I see 90-year-olds out there slinging it, so I should be able to do that.
Yeah, gotta watch out for them, man. They'll tear you up. They tear me up all the time.
Yeah. So and hot yoga too. So those are the disciplines. But one of the things always that's always interesting about really some of the successful people is you talked about your day, and you have a very disciplined day. You do the cold calling from 9 to 12, and the rest of the day when you're working, you're either showing property or trying to get deals done. And then after a certain time, I'm out.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
I'm taking care of myself. So, where did that discipline come from? How did you procure that type of mindset? What did that look like?
If I were to go back and almost that first residential deal, I mean, I was getting phone calls at 7, 8, 9 at night on Sundays. I mean, I'm at church at 11:30 on Sunday religiously. I'm up on Saturday. My fiance and I go get coffee, like a new coffee shop every time. And when people start to interrupt that, it made me a little upset. And I understood the business side of it. You're gonna deal with it. You run a business. You're an entrepreneur. Whether you're flipping a house, calling, broker, investor, whatever. You're going to have those calls, but I noticed that in the commercial world, industrial, multifamily, those guys are busy too. They're at the coffee shop, they're doing their thing on Sunday, and they're not worried about closing a deal. No attorney or no title rep is answering the phone on a Saturday night.
Right.
Your buyer might for residential, which is fine, but I'm not built for that. So going back to that first deal when I knew immediately this is not something I want to do, I had to pivot again. So going back to the cold calling, doing that first commercial deal was attractive. So
know thyself. I mean, you knew the lane that you wanted to stay in. You weren't a guy that wanted to show houses and close deals on a Saturday and Sunday. You had those things that were important to you, and you kept it going. So you and your fiance, they get coffee. Now let me ask you this. This is the real question.
Yep.
Do you put anything in your coffee?
I don't. I mean, I get the craziest kind of coffee there is. I don't know if it's like I got a creamsicle last week. I don't know what it was. It was crazy.
Wait a minute. What I meant by that is, do you have black coffee, or do you have like a really wild? Are you just like, hey, let me try something new at the coffee shop?
Dude, I'm buck wild. I don't care what. Yeah.
Fair enough. So I like it. So you're not in the middle. So I would say that there's the black coffee person, which I am, and then there's the person that is just buck wild, which you're on the side. That's where you've got a little more variety. And then there's a person that maybe gets I'm just a caramel macchiato person every time.
Yeah.
So I like it.
Yeah.
All right. So now you're in industrial real estate. Are you any kind of to get continuing education and to do this better? What are some of the things, or some of the either coaches, mentors, or books that you've read that have helped you along the way? What did that look like?
Yeah, I tell you what, the glass is never full. I think having a mindset of being coachable and understanding that you're not the best in the business. I think comparison is the thief of joy. I think
sounds like somebody's been reading Proverbs or something.
Yeah.
Come on, Phil.
Yeah, I do read my Bible often, but I think watching these people, like, you know who Bob Knackel is by chance?
Bob Knackel. I don't, but I'll look him up.
Yeah, Bob Knackel is one of the top commercial brokers in the country. I think he sold over $20 billion in real estate over the past 30 or 40 years. He is somebody I look up to greatly. Very smart guy, but very disciplined. I'm not a big book guy. I do love podcasts. And nothing that has to do with real estate, actually. It's more of your mindset than anything else. For me, I'm a very big visual learner. I was not the best in school. I'll tell you that immediately. Did not finish college. My wife or fiance is the complete opposite of me. Very booky. I'm not. But I'd say mimicking someone like you, Mike, or someone who just has done the plan already and following their blueprint and almost sitting down with them like I'm doing with you. Right. If I don't know how to flip a house, I want to ask you, and I want to ask you how you did it, who did you do it, where'd you get your money from, and just copy the blueprint. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel as a commercial broker. People have done it before me, and I've done a million times more than I have. So in terms of learning, I'm always looking for people who've done significantly better than me and just asking them. I can't compare myself. I'm not on that level.
Right. That's good. One of the things that you mentioned is, is you mentioned Bob Knackle, and you mentioned like seeing somebody that, hey, what are they doing that's better, not better, or what are they doing to get to that level, and just, hey, okay, they have a process. Let me copy that process, and let me add those things to what I'm doing on a daily basis. And then you mentioned some of the comparison is the thief of joy, envy. One of those things, it's a struggle for real estate entrepreneurs, and is if you look at other people and see where they're at and go, wow, how did they get there? Well, they'll tell you. Most people want to tell you. Most people who are at a place where they're at a place where they can teach and educate people, they want to tell their story and they want to help people. But here's the thing that you just dropped for our listeners is you got to ask. It's just feel free to ask. And if they don't want to, then okay, that's not a person I do want to talk to, because you're not going to ask in a way that's not probably edifying what they've accomplished. And I try to do the same thing whenever I meet somebody. I ask them, how did they get where they were at? What were the valleys and what were some of the aha moments? You had an aha moment. You realized, okay, this residential real estate's not for me, but there is something. And you got serendipitously, you found those two people who were good friends, and that changed your life. Yep. Changed the trajectory. Yep. So interested, what are the podcasts that you listen to? And this is good. You said specifically, it's not real estate related. I know it's probably related in some way because of the mindset. It may not be focused on the numbers or real estate per se, but what are some of those things that help you out there?
Yeah, I would say my top maybe 3 is the Positive Mindset podcast. That's one. School of Greatness. That's with Lewis Howes. Yeah, Lewis. He's the man. And I love the Tony Robbins podcast. I've been to a couple of his seminars and always gets me charged up.
Yes, that positive energy.
Yeah. Have you ever been to any of his before? I
have been coached by one of his students, but I've never been to one of his events before. All my buddies have. I'm in the season of I've always been in this. I've got 4 kids and life, and so whenever I travel, it's got to be really something that I need to go, and I need to go to that one. I need to prioritize that one because Tony's got some good stuff.
Yeah.
But I go to a quarterly masterminds every year, all through the year. It's kind of seems like it's real estate related because there were a bunch of real estate investors, but it's more mindset and being exposed to other people that are doing things at a different level and also helping in other areas of your life. You mentioned the Bible. A lot of these guys are followers of Christ, and we go specifically, and we get in that book, and there's just a gold mine of business related tactics, and then how to just live your life from the good book. And so that's what they extracted out of. Mm-hmm. But Phil, so right now it's those podcasts, it's the hot yoga, it's the pickleball. That's what you do recreationally. And then you mentioned that you have a fiance. Oh, we have a date soon, or what's that look like?
Yeah, we're in November of 2025, so I'm slinging as many deals as I can beforehand.
Are we going to do that in Pennsylvania? Or are we going some location?
No, we're going to go to the Jersey Shore.
All right.
Yeah, Jersey Shore near Avalon, Sea Isle, right down there.
All right.
Have you ever been to Jersey Shore?
So I've never been north. Well, no, I've been to Boston. I haven't been to New York. But when we travel, we go to a lot to Florida and Texas and out west. But I've never been to the Jersey Shore. No, sir.
That's all right. Nothing special down there, really. No,
Well, it's got to be special for you guys. It's got to be some reason to be special.
It's close. It's close.
Yeah. So Phil, the other thing about real estate and what you're doing every day is the discipline of doing 3 hours of cold calling every day. How do you get better at cold calling? Is it just, hey, you just got to put time under attention, or did you take any kind of instruction courses? How did you develop that lead generating skill set?
I'll be honest, Mike. I hated cold calling, and I still do. But it's just a necessity of my business,
Right.
I think the skill came from making a ton of mistakes and dropping the ball on a lot of deals. You can pay for all the courses and conferences and YouTube videos in the world. At the end of the day, you really just got to pick it up and learn it on your own.
Right.
Everybody will tell you, oh, don't say this, say that. I think I'm definitely open-minded and pivot sometimes when I think it's appropriate, but being a chameleon on the phone and matching people, tonality, how they speak, what they say, repeating it back to them. There's that book, Never Split the Difference.
Yeah, Chris Voss.
Chris Voss. That was a phenomenal book.
Banger. Yeah. You
banger
said you
book.
didn't read books. You misled us, or you listened to that one on audio, probably.
That one was it's like that Mastermind online video.
It is. It's a boomerang book. So I try to read that every year. I have a buddy of mine that we try to Chris Voss each other twice a week. We try to while we're talking to each other, kind of do those things without us knowing, and then you just Vossed me.
That's awesome. I guess I'm using that. Just Vossed me.
Well, hey, listen, I will tell you this though: the mirroring part, you got to use it on your fiance. Like when you, so I started. I've been married for 23 years.
I need the secret now.
You read the book. He's got some great stuff. You just don't treat her like a client, right? But when you're talking to her, look in her eyes, kind of mirror what she's doing, just like what you do on the cold calling. Yeah. And just do everything that she does, and just get on that conversation roller coaster with her.
Yeah. She catches on pretty quick. She's very smart.
Yeah.
Very smart.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Has she read the book too?
No, she has not. No.
Okay.
She's a nurse and going to be a practitioner. So anything numbers or real estate, she's just like, I don't even want to look at it. I'll stick to my lane.
Gotcha. All right. So, but you mentioned Chris Voss's books, and you mentioned when you're cold calling, it's just the tonality and matching somebody's voice, and then the cadence and everything like that. So was that learned through? That person talked about that, and I'm going to use that, or did you kind of find that on your own?
It was definitely a mix of both. I think after messing up a handful of times, and let's say I got an objection and I didn't know how to handle it, then, I would research and listen to somebody who's overcame that. There's actually, you ever hear of Andy Elliott?
Yes.
I was always very skeptical of him. And I still kind of am, but I'm actually coming around a little bit. I got to give it to him. That guy's a really good marketer. Some things I disagree with, some things I don't, but he does drop some nuggets. I gotta give it to him with sales. Whether he's legit or not, he does have objection handlers. So.
Isn't that funny though? Some people we end up we watch their stuff and we're like, oh, that's kind of cringy, cheesy, and then they go, oh, you're like, oh, okay, let me write that down.
Yeah.
And I got a few of those. Well, that's good, man. That is really good stuff. And some of the things that I think one of the things that we can learn here is, of course, continuing education. You the podcast, being able to fill your mind with stuff that is going to keep you with that mindset of, hey, I'm doing this for a reason, and I want to be great at this. And so, you said what most people, the thing that most people do is they hate lead generating, but they know that it provides a result. So in this business, sometimes you got to do with what you hate because there's a result at the end.
Right.
And those podcasts, the Chris Voss books, they help with the mindset training.
Yep.
So really appreciate you, going down that lane. Phil, if one of our listeners was like, hey, I'm in industrial real estate too, or maybe I have a deal in Texas or a deal in Florida, how would they be able to contact you? What's that look like, Phil?
I can give you my email. I'll even give you the Instagram if you want. I will always answer. I love helping people. I've been there. I've been through the mud. I've been broke. So I get it. If there's some way that I can circulate and give that back. You want me to just say it? Is that?
Well, I tell you what, we can. You say the IG, and then we'll put it in the show notes so people can click the link below and reach out to you.
Yeah.
But you're on IG, on Facebook, or any of that stuff?
Yeah. IG is P Maisano. It's PMAISANORE. And then LinkedIn, you can just look up the first name and last name. And
Yep, we got that. Got that LinkedIn account. All right. Well, thank you, sir, for being part of the Real Estate Pros podcast, folks. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.